Clive Barker's The Thief of Always, Part 3. All right, welcome readers of fantasy. So readers, today we are going to continue our work thinking about the elements of a fantasy story. So we're going to be thinking about what the setting is and how it affects the characters. Setting is really important in fantasy. We're going to be thinking about these concepts of power. Who's got the power? Does it change throughout the story? Internal and external problems. You know, what's going on inside the character? What are they battling inside themselves? And then what are they battling outside? You know, what are the forces or other characters that they're battling? And then we're going to be thinking about life lessons and themes that the characters are learning, but also you as a reader are going to be taking away. Something very important to think about when we read fantasy. All right, a really brief recap of what has happened so far in this story. So, Harvey and Wendell have escaped from Holiday House. It's this creepy house where, you know, it's full of fun, but there's kind of a dark side. This character, Karna, follows them and tries to scare them and eat them. But when they get to the other side of the wall, Karna kind of loses his power. He's weak and he has to turn back. Harvey and Wendell, they go home only to realize that Holiday House has been, every day at Holiday House has been a year back home. And so everybody has aged and life has moved on. And in fact, 31 years have passed since Harvey left home, and nobody kind of believes him except for his parents, because there's no way to prove it except for the fact that, like, he's a child when, you know, he should be like, you know, like probably a man in his 40s at that point. So Harvey kind of realizes that he has to go back to Holiday House and try and take back these stolen years. Some themes that we're seeing as we read parts 1 and 2 of this story. So there's this good versus evil concept that's definitely going on. There's good characters and bad characters and who's going to overcome. And then there's this thing about doing what's right even when it's extremely difficult. Holiday House is really scary to escape, but kind of Harvey realizes like he probably has to go back and make things right. And so then there's also this theme that kind of comes along, like facing your problems head on or facing your fears, confronting what's, you know, what's scary. So we want to be looking out for evidence to support one or more than one of these themes. All right. Because this is a graphic novel, I want to make sure that as we're reading, we're paying attention to some of the choices that the illustrator is making when they're telling a story, because they're a key part of the telling of a graphic novel story. So paying attention to the panels and the captions that their choices they're making, the speech bubbles, splash pages, you know, which pages are like full page. Why are they choosing to do that? What are they trying to emphasize by having a full page illustration? Sound effects, onomatopoeia, the naming of a sound effect. It kind of spelled like it sounds. What about the choices in the lettering? What are they doing? And then definitely the layout, you know, deciding how did the illustrator decide how to place these panels? What are they trying to emphasize in the action or dialogue? Okay. And then, of course, you know, the faces of the characters, you know, what are they doing to convey the mood or the expression or maybe a reaction? Let's get started. I'd forgotten how beautiful it is. Don't trust it. It's all an illusion. The house, the weather, everything. Who cares? I do. And so did you 5 minutes ago. This place is stolen time from us, Wendell. How to do that? It's just such a perfect day. Hey, wait for me. Can you smell that pie? Oh man, I think there's some foreshadowing going on here. Wendell already seems to be getting lured back into Holiday House. The beauty, the food. Slam! Great to have you back, boy! I told everyone you wouldn't be able to stay away. Nobody believed me. He's gone, they said. But I knew better. Oh, look at their expressions. Wendell's face. It looks like they're each thinking something different. So it seems like Rick just thinks that the lure of Holiday House has been too great for these boys to resist. And I kind of am wondering why it is that he's so confident. And also, did you notice the sound effect here? The door didn't close quietly. It's kind of spooky. And this is also done in what's called an inset panel, right? So the author the illustrator is able to use this to show kind of Harvey and Wendell's reaction to shutting the door. And then the bigger panel is like the reaction as they're talking to Rictus. Where's Mrs. Griffin? She's getting old, so she takes to her bed a good deal these days. Oh, Wendell's still following that pie. We laid her down somewhere, safe and sound. Now everybody's happy. I'm not. And why's that? I left all my presents here. I think maybe up in my bedroom. So didn't Mrs. Griffin help Harvey and Wendell escape? Remember she gave them Blue Cat, and Blue Cat helped them sort of get out of the wall? So I'm kind of wondering what's happening to her. No problem. I'll get them for you. That's what we're all here for, Harvey Swick. To give you whatever your heart desires. What is it? Have you something to show me? There's Blue Cat. Oh, looks like he's following Blue Cat. A key. And there he has the key in his hands. So this is interesting. The illustrator is using a 3-panel layout here, and it looks like it's showing the steps in the process. So first he follows the cat, then he finds the key, and then now he's going to a door with the key. And it opens. Where are you taking me, Blue Cat? Uh-oh, what is this box? Looks like it's got a little lock on it. Someone's inside. Is that it? Thud, thud. Hold on in there. So we've seen this layout kind of before, right? These 3 panels. Is it kind of for the same reason? 1, 2, 3, kind of showing the process, right? I'm going to get you out. Playing. Ugh! So here's another sound effect. And this one is onomatopoeia. And it's spelled like it sounds, right? Playing. Ugh. Mrs. Griffin! Thank you, my sweet, but you shouldn't have come back. It's too dangerous. Who did this to you? Ivan Rictus. But he ordered it, didn't he? Yes. Mr. Hood's here, but not in the way you think. I thought I'd never cry again, but you've broken the curse. What curse? I was the first child who ever came to Hood's house many, many years ago. I'd run away from home because my cat had died, and my father refused to get me another. And what do you think Rictus gave me the very day I arrived? So this is interesting. We kind of have this caption here, and it kind of helps us to understand what's happening in the story. And so she's kind of having like a flashback here, right? To the first day that she arrived. I think this is her, because look at her like old-fashioned dress. People like dress like that, like, I don't know, hundreds of years ago. Blue Cat. You know how this house works, don't you? It gives you whatever you think you want. And I wanted a cat and another father. I heard Hood's voice that night. Where? In the attic. He said, if you stay here forever and ever, you'll never die. I've seen too much, Harvey. Too many seasons. Too many children. Why didn't you try and stop him? I have no power against him. All I could do was give the children who came here as much happiness as I knew how. I'd welcome death now. Like a friend I've driven away from my door. But Hood won't let me. Not ever. That's his revenge on me for helping you escape. So it seems like Mrs. Griffin feels powerless against Mr. Hood. And I wonder if the reason that Harvey thinks that she could stop him is because he was able to escape before. It's kind of like he kind of overcame Mr. Hood before. So maybe he thinks she could too. Hood's going to let you go. I promise. I'm going to make him. You're so brave, my sweet, but he won't let any of us go. There's such a terrible emptiness inside him. He wants to fill it with souls, but It's a bottomless pit. And you're both heading for it. Uh-oh. You said the illustrator is using a different color bubble here to show a new person speaking? We've been looking for you, Harvey Swick. Come with me. I might still get you out of trouble if you let me make something humble of you. A flea, worm, or a scabby dog. So it's Mar. Do you remember her? That's Rictus and Karna's sister from the roof. She turned Harvey into that vampire bat. Also, this is a splash page. It's like a big page illustration, and it sort of reveals kind of how big and scary that Mar is. And so illustrators save these splash pages for just really important moments. Good, child, good. Don't. She'll hurt you. Hush, woman. We're going to have to nail that lid down next time. You've been such an obedient boy. Maybe I won't turn you into a worm after all. What would you like to be? What's in your heart? Never mind my heart. What's in yours? Uh-oh, Harvey seems kind of unafraid of Mar, and I'm kind of wondering why. Mine. Yes. What do you dream about? What do you want to be? Think. What are you doing? Ooh, doesn't it feel like the power is kind of shifting here? Mar seems kind of scared. Leave me alone. If you harm me, Mr. Hood will have your head. I'm just letting you have your dreams, the way you let me have mine. I don't want them. No, you damnable child. I dream of nothing, and that's what I become. Uh-oh, Harvey just faced out a dragon. And I'm wondering if this conflict that Harvey just faced could be metaphorical, kind of like symbolic, right? That's what metaphorical means. Like, could Mar's lack of dreams, like her nothingness, could that be symbolic of something that maybe Harvey is facing, maybe internally? You did it. Now for the rest of them. Do be careful, child. I've heard Karna's shrieks every night. It wants revenge. And I want my life back. Whatever it takes, I'm going to get it. Maybe you can. Of all the children who've come here, maybe you're the one who can beat Hood at his own game. Ooh, I wonder how what Harvey wants, like to get his life back, how does that connect to him defeating Mar? I definitely am noticing there's a big change in power here. Also, have you been noticing these bold words? So when you go to look at your comic, those are choices that can help the reader understand the words that a speaker is emphasizing. You're a murderer now. Do you like the feel of Mar's blood on your hands? He didn't kill her. She was never alive. None of you are. Ooh, Mrs. Griffin, kind of like having something to say there. Interesting. What are we then? Illusions. All illusions. Ha 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 ha! What's so funny? You think you know everything, but you don't know Mr. Hood. I will in a little while. I could suck your brains out through your ears, you know. Maybe you could, but you're not going to, because I've got an appointment with your master. Oh, I think the fact that Rictus isn't trying to harm Harvey kind of tells us something about how the power is shifted in this story. Okay, short response time. So I've given two options here. Your teacher's going to choose one of these for you to do. The first one, how does Harvey's defeat of Mar connect to his problems that got him in trouble from the beginning of the story? Or, what is the best evidence to support the theme? Do what's right, even when it's extremely difficult. Use two details from the text to support your response.